ever wondered why Spanish has two verbs that both mean to be? You might have heard soy feliz and estoy feliz, and both mean I am happy, so what's the difference? Before we dive in, if you're completely new to these verbs, here's what they look like. So, soy would be yo soy, tú eres, nosotros somos, ustedes son, esto es. Y estoy would be yo estoy, tú estás, nosotros estamos, ellos están, esto está. Now that we have that, let's start with the using of these words. Native speakers don't really memorize the rules. We usually think of ser as describing what something is and estar as describing the condition it is in. For example, if I say soy chilena, that is part of what someone is. But then if I say estoy cansada or estoy enferma, these are temporary states. A good way of understanding this is to think of it as a photograph. So let's imagine Ana. If I ask you, who is Ana? You would say, es doctora, es amable, es chilena. But if I take a picture of how she is at the moment, you would say, está sentada, está sonriendo, está usando un pantalón azul. This is a good base to start, so let's see some examples. If I want to say I'm a student, you would say, soy estudiante. If I'm saying that I'm busy, you would translate that to, estoy ocupada. Okay, now that we understand the basics, we need to see some exceptions. So we just learned that ser is permanent and estar is temporary. But this isn't always true. Ella es doctora, that's permanent. But Chile está en Sudamérica, that's also permanent, isn't it? So then why is it that it uses estar instead of ser? That's because locations use estar. Let's practice that. If I say, I'm at Andrés' house, that would be, estoy en la casa de Andrés. Then if I say, she's with Lucia, that would translate to, ella está con Lucia. And finally, if I say, the desk is in the classroom, that would be, exactly, el escritorio está en la sala de clases. Okay, now we learned that locations use estar. So that's for the place. But if you want to say when or where an event takes place, that uses ser. So when you say that something or someone is at a place, then you use estar. But when you're talking about an event that occurs somewhere at some time, you use ser. Let's practice the events first. The party is at my house translates to, la fiesta es en mi casa, or most commonly in Chile, el carrete es en mi casa. The reunion is tomorrow would be, la reunión es mañana. Okay, now see if you can guess if you use ser or estar in the following phrases. Tomorrow is Christmas. Mañana es Navidad. The keys are on the table. Las llaves están sobre la mesa. The wallet is in the car. La billetera está en el auto. The concert is on Friday. El concierto es el viernes. Last one. The reunion is in the office and the office is in Santiago. That would be, la reunión es en la oficina y la oficina está en Santiago. Great. The next thing that you have to mind is feelings. You have to remember that all feelings are temporary. But also you can say that you are a happy person, and that would be permanent. So if you're feeling happy at the moment, you would say estoy feliz. But if you're like a happy person in general, then you would say soy feliz. Now for the dangerous part. Some adjectives completely change their meaning depending on whether you use ser or estar. So if you use the wrong verb, you might say something you didn't mean to. Soy listo means I'm smart, but estoy listo means I'm ready. Soy aburrido means I'm boring. Estoy aburrido means I'm bored. Es verde means it's green. Está verde means it's unripe. Es bueno means he's a good person. Está bueno, well, this depends on the country, but in a lot of them it means he's hot or he's good looking. So be careful with this one. You might be complimenting someone's appearance instead of their personality. Está vivo means it's alive, while es vivo in Chile it means he's clever or quick-witted. And I'm sure there are many more examples of this. This is why translating word for word doesn't always work. When you change ser to estar, you're changing perspectives. You change from defining what something is to defining how it currently is. But have you ever wondered how native speakers always seem to just know which one to use? We don't stop and think, identity or state? It just sounds right. Here's the secret. You don't become fluent by memorizing rules. You become fluent by recognizing patterns. That is exactly how native speakers learned. And that's how you can learn too. That's why input matters. If you keep hearing estoy cansado, estoy listo, soy alto, soy chileno, eventually your brain starts recognizing these patterns automatically. I have made 2 videos where you can practice listening to Spanish, one for beginners and one advanced. I plan on making many more, so if you need to practice, I encourage you to check them out. Now, before we finish, let's start a practicing round that includes everything we learned today. The apples aren't ripe. Las manzanas están verdes. The movie is boring. La película es aburrida. She is at the school. Ella está en el colegio. The wedding is next week. La boda es la próxima semana. Today I'm sad. Hoy estoy triste. If you only remember one thing from this video, let it be this. Ser tells us what something is. Estar tells us the state or condition it is in. It is not a perfect rule, but it is the closest thing to how native speakers actually think. And the more Spanish you hear, the less you'll have to think about it. Thank you for listening. Ciao!